What is user experience? How to break into UX without dying trying? Is it for me? How much does it pay? Those are questions that I get so many times during my mentorships. These videos are gonna help you to make a decision. Either you wanna keep pursuing your UX discipline or you want to find something different. Let's define user experience first. An experience is when someone has a practical contact with something. And a user is someone who operates a software, a tool, or a machine. Now, if we put these two words together, user experience is nothing but the experience that this person has interacting with this service, with this product, with this machine, with this tool. As a UX designer, there is a standard process that you need to follow. First one is understand what is the design problem, user need, business need, and how you are going to incorporate a solution to fulfill that initial need or that initial design problem. And this is how you are gonna go to the second step of the process, research. All the different user interviews that you need to conduct, all the different workshops that you probably need to run with the team, just to get to understand what is the real problem behind. Once you have put all the results together into a report just for documentation, you can get to the next step, a sketch. You can do some flow charts, you can do some personas, how the UX is gonna look in the final product, but everything is gonna be in a sketch. It's gonna be a first draft. And then the next step, design. You already have a clear vision of what is the initial design problem and what is the potential solution. At this stage, you already have presented this to your team, you already have discussed with them, you probably already did some testing. Overall, this stage is to put together that solution and polish it for the handoff. Next step, implementation. Your team has been involved all these stages, but in implementation is when the development is actively working on your solution. They are going to start translating your design into code, and this is a very exciting step because you get to collaborate with developers and see their magic. Finally, evaluation. When the implementation is running in the product and the users are already using it, this is the right time to measure the impact of your solution. You probably have to do some tweaks to your initial idea. That's perfectly fine. Understand, research, sketch, design, implement, and evaluate. The holistic process is endless. There is not a final version for any product. The market outside is always changing, so the business needs to adjust. And the product needs to do it as well. But that is pretty cool because that is guaranteeing that you are gonna always have a job. And that is a blessing. These steps can repeat over and over again. And eventually you are going to find out that some solutions that you first launched are gonna change with the pass of the time. But this is a lot of theory. I just wanna know if UX is for me or not. I'm going to tell you some of the skills that a UX designer needs to have, and if you already have them, then you already have some advantages. A UX designer needs to be empathetic. You are constantly talking with the stakeholders, and if you are lucky, you get to speak with the customers as well. You can't understand a design problem if you don't wear the user shoes. You need to look at the problem or the design need from the other side. It's a skill that you need to have, not only for UX, but also it's gonna help you to relate better with your coworkers. A UX designer likes to solve problems. They face all types of challenges, from new functionalities to improvements. So if you are someone who likes to be challenged, who likes to dive into the real problems, UX might be something for you. You need to be creative and analytical. When you are in the process of finding the solution for a specific need, usually you need to think out of the box. You need to be very creative, but you can fantasize. You need to be very strategic. For any solution that you propose, there is going to be an effort behind. So if you are a UX designer, make sure that you are proposing practical solutions that are going to actively help to the company. Being a UX designer is pretty dynamic. You should be able to be involved at any point in the process. So this week you're probably conducting interviews, but the next week you're probably designing something for any other requirement. Depending on the company, depending on the team, you can collaborate with different disciplines. This week you are collaborating with researchers, the next week you are collaborating with content experts, the following week you are collaborating with developers. If you are someone who likes to get out of your comfort zone, this might be a discipline for you. If you are someone who is autodidact, you are gonna love being a UX designer. Every day there are new features, new releases, new tools, new plugins that change the rules of the game. If you like to learn on your own, you are going to be a competitive professional. You could have your primary job to pay your bills, but if you want to have some extra money, you can freelance, and this is an advantage. It's really common to find a small company that want to jump to the digital world. Here is where you can help. A user designer usually wants to stay in a company for a while. You work from the conception to the production. And when you are going through all those steps, you want to see your baby going to production. You want to see the impact. You want to see the results. If you are someone who likes to engage with a project from end to end, this might be a discipline that fits your needs. You like to work in a team. You should be able to get involved at any stage of the process. There are going to be multiple disciplines that are taking over your solution. You get to speak with the developers, find out that they think very technical, but then you also are going to speak with content experts who have another different mindset. Or you can work with a researcher who is more analytical. Find that sweet spot where you can learn how to work with all these different disciplines, supporting with the information that they need to collaborate all together. If you are someone who likes to work in a team, UX design might be a discipline for you. This is not paid advertising. I wish. One of the questions that I get the most during my mentorships is if UX actually pays well. And I can't blame people. They want to do something that pays for their bills. My recommendation is to go to glassdoor.com and check out companies' profiles. You can also read the people's reviews and see what they think about the work culture. You can also check how much a specific company pays for the UX design role. So according to Glassdoor, in America, a junior UX designer makes $50,000 to $77,000 a year. A UX designer makes $77,000 to $127,000. A senior UX designer makes $120,000 to $160,000. A principal UX designer makes $168,000 to $274,000 a year. A director of UX design, $183,000 to $313,000 a year. A senior director of UX design, $215,000 to $368,000 a year. And a vice president of UX design, $220,000 to $391,000 a year. If you are a competitive professional, UX pays really well. Now, if you ask me how long does it take to jump from a junior position to a UX designer position and from a UX designer position to a senior position, it's very relative, right? It depends if you are in a startup, if you are in a small or a big company, if you are lucky or not, if you have the skills to jump to the next position. Some people that I know skip the junior position. Their first experience is UX designer. Some people take 2 years to jump to the next position. I have seen cases where senior designers jump to management after 7 months just because their manager left and they have demonstrated good leadership skills. So it's very relative. Overall, it doesn't take more than 2 years to be promoted to the next role. But let's just do a really quick and rough math. Junior UX designer, senior principal, director, senior, and vice president. Those are 7 positions. If you spend 10 years in the UX industry, I would say that you can achieve $250,000 a year. There are also companies who pay $260,000 to senior positions. But overall, it pays really well, and I can totally say that this is a discipline that pays your bills. More videos related to UX are coming up. If you like this content, please like, subscribe, because this is a motivation to share my experience as a UX designer and putting together some material that can help you with your UX journey. And don't forget that I'm also mentoring at ADP List. If you have any specific questions or you want tips for an interview, portfolio, resume review, feel free to schedule a mentorship with me. You can also follow me on my social media as Diana Wolosin on LinkedIn and Instagram. My name is Diana Wolosin. Thank you for watching and see you soon.